keep my hand in the fire. Won't learn my lesson till I let it burn, but never lose my desire. Had it from the moment that I felt my first love. I knew I'd never get enough of you. I'll take the risk like I'm bulletproof. Shots in my heart, but it bleeds the truth. A part of every little thing I do, like a tattoo. Just like a tattoo. I'll always have you. Ooh, like a tattoo. Just like a tattoo. I'll always have you. Ooh. My inhibitions fade away. Can't think with my head, my gut won't let me change. Try to deny, but you beg me to taste. If I end as the loser, it'd be worth the game. Cause I can never get enough of you. I'll take the risk like I'm bulletproof. Always on my heart like a tattoo. A part of every little thing I do, like a tattoo. I swear every time is the last time I let you get up under my skin. I wanna let the ink dry, but wanna try till it's right. Here we go.
Welcome to NWA Cane Corsos podcast, where we talk all things dogs.
Bam! Gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Y'all doing all right?
Good evening. Yes.
Good evening. Good evening. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another show on NWA Cane Corsos, where we talk all things dogs. We not scared.
That's right.
We don't give a damn. And I'm back with some more strangers. CT and my boy John in the house.
Y'all know what's up, everybody?
Yes, sir. Y'all know the last time we had some technical difficulties, so we back and we're gonna do it again. Before I'm just gonna hand this off to John in a minute, but I want to say a couple things that I was having issues with in the Corso world. One of them was our brother. He's in here, the Cane Corso enthusiast. He has a group. He's a guy that got a couple Corso positive guy. Started a group where people can interact with each other. Then you got some of these old ass haters. You know what I'm saying? They want to knock the group, want to make them move the goalpost for the group. Well, you ain't talking about this. You ain't doing that. You ain't doing this. Same thing they try to do to this guy over here. They want to move the goalpost on what we can talk about, and if it hit them the wrong way, they booty cheeks get all tight and everything. So as far as these Facebook groups, I'm gonna tell you straight up, y'all. Find you some better ones, and some of you dudes need to grow some nuts and start checking some of these folks in these groups. Because some of y'all have y'all head up these breeders' ass so far, they got to turn like a fucking school bus because your head in their ass and you scared of them. You need to drop that chicken shit and get rid of that chicken heart. And the second thing I want to say that happened in the Cane Corso world is some of these people that show the dogs out there abusing on the dogs, like they did my boy Dennis and Limelight Cane Corso's dog. So you got to be careful with these fools, and you can't be scared of them fools. So that's all I want to say. How y'all doing?
Yeah.
Hey, now that you got that off your chest, huh?
Yeah, man. They fucking with some of my boys out there, man. I can't let them do it. You know what I mean? So, John,
Hey,
let's go,
like
brother.
I told you before, man. They kick me out of every group I get into because
yeah.
You got that bullshit.
Yeah, for real.
You got to stand for something, or you'll fall for anything. You know.
That's right.
Yeah. And
That's right.
I don't agree with much that Farrakhan said, but I think that was Farrakhan. I ain't no get along to get along. That's for sure.
That's right, man.
So, I'm gonna say it how it is, and wherever it land, let it land there. And we ought to be man enough to step through it, step over it, or step around it. One of the three, you know.
One of the three, yeah.
So here's my takeoff, just right out the gate. I heard a podcast, I think it was yesterday, day before yesterday. I'm not gonna say the guy's name, but when you make claims on breeding, on stud dogs and saying what they have accomplished, you better be correct on what you're saying and how it happened. It's too easy to go back and check and say that these dogs were world champs or these dogs competed at a certain level and they won. That is paper trail on that. For years and years and years, you can go back and look at this stuff. This guy made a statement saying the dog was a two-time a particular sport he won it 2 times a year. Not so. Nowhere even close. Now,
what was the sport? Don't tell the sport. What was the sport?
It was a KNPV. Said the dog won the Nationals twice. The dog wasn't even close to winning the Nationals. Mm-hmm. The dog itself was a beast of a dog, but he never produced anything that was worth anything. I had 3 dogs off of him. I put 2 to sleep. I gave 1 away. The one I gave away to the guy lived out in the country, didn't know nothing about. He didn't even know what kind of dog it was. He just wanted a dog that he can have out there to run with his cows and goats, and his kids can enjoy the dog. And that's about all it was worth. That came off of the dog that this guy made this ridiculous statement on, saying that he won the Nationals twice. Couldn't be farther from the truth. I text the guy from over there, message to the guy, messenger, and asked him to have proof. The guy that did it, he imported the dog here to the guy that brought the dog to the States and said the dog didn't do no such thing. So when people make these statements and then they hang in paperwork on dogs and all that stuff, man, you have to be careful about that. If you judge the dog that's in front of you, you won't have that problem when it comes to certain working dogs and what you're looking for and why you're looking to buy a dog. Judge what you see in front of you. You go look at a litter of puppies. I've told people that come here to look at puppies. Look at the puppies, take your pick. I'll put a piece of, come in the house, get some fingernail polish, mark the dog on the head, little light, so we'll know that's the one. Say, go eat lunch and come back in a couple of hours and look at the litter again. And then make your pick. Because the pup you pick now, I could have fed him an hour ago. And he may be lazy, the best pup out of that litter. He may just be just pigged out. So when you come to evaluate him, you take a look at him, that might not be the best pup at that particular time. Go eat, I will go to the mall, whatever. Come back and then look at him again, and you may have a different view. So rather than buying puppies on papers for certain breeds of dogs, Malinois, Dutch Shepherds, the people overseas rig paperwork. People in the States rig paperwork, but they can't rig what they see in front of you. Just ain't gonna happen. And when people
I
make
agree with you right there, man.
Yeah, when
probably 80% of the dogs out there ain't what they paperwork say they is.
Ain't what the pay. I would go as far as say 85, 90% of them. You know, the DNA, can the DNA be altered? Hell yeah, it can. And I'll give you a prime example. See, if there's a lady used to breed in Jay, Oklahoma. She used to breed Akitas. Her name was Miss Gloria. I bought an Akita from her. I can remember plain as day that lady telling me this, and this had to be 30 years ago, maybe. She says when the OFA sees my kennel name on the paperwork, sometimes they don't even look at the film. They'll just stamp excellent or good because they know what I breed and the standards that I breed to. So can that be rigged up? Even the OFA can be rigged up. let alone just the paperwork on them and saying what can happen. And that lady told me that out of her mouth. That's not what I heard anybody say or anything. I heard that. I'm standing there talking to the lady when she said it.
Hey, John, let
So,
me add to what I mean. Let me clarify something that you just said, because I think people, you said the DNA can be rigged up. DNA can't be rigged up, and I don't think you meant it like that. But anything, paperwork and
The
lumen,
document. Yeah.
the documents,
documents.
right,
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
all
The
right.
documents of
I
it,
know
yeah.
you didn't mean. I know you didn't mean it
Right,
the way it
right,
came out.
Yeah.
right. So but if you judge what you see a pup in front of you, then that can't lie unless you just don't know what you're looking at. You know, I've gotten dogs from one of the best breeders in the United States, and he said, "Oh, John, you can have that one with you." I bought a couple, and he said, "Take that one with you." I now for what he just didn't like what he saw at the time that we were looking at the pups. Now, it could be a couple of reasons why, but I just took it as if that pup, what he looked for at that time when he judged him, wasn't going to work out. I got the dog home and did my thing, man, put him in the mix, and that was a bad motor scooter. You know, that's just kind of one of those things. It goes back to Joe. I think I might have mentioned it to you on people being able to take a dog from 0 to 10, from start to finish. Some people can only go in sections, you know, and that's what they have to buy for. If I know I'm limited in what I know and my ability, I want a dog at a 7, because everything under the 7 he can do by the time I get him. So that's less work that I have to do to finish him. You know, what I learned and how I wanted to be and be known as taking the dog from start to finish. Everything in between, not just a section of it. And some people just that they gravitate towards what they know, you know, and that'll hurt them in the end, you know. But
There's a lot of people out there, John, that if they didn't have the so we spoke about it before. We spoke about how when the Malinois came out, how it's made a lot of people think they was trainers because the Malinois is just so easy to train. You know, I gave a kid, he was going to this Tom Rose School of Dog Training up in St. Louis, and I gave him a puppy to take with him, man. I gave him about a 6-month-old puppy, and I gave him I'm talking about, this was a hard puppy. Man, he brought this puppy back, and they had cowered this puppy down, and I could not believe this guy had went to a school and came back and had fucked that puppy up. Because this was one of, Joe, you remember me talking about that old breed I had, that shit, you couldn't even hardly look these motherfuckers in their face without them wanting to give you some funk. I gave him one of those puppies, man, and he brought this puppy back fucked up. I didn't even want that puppy when he brought him back. But he was supposed to be at a training school. But everybody, man, can't take a puppy from 0 to 100, like John said. Everybody can't train. Some people can't train nothing but a Malinois. Or they can't train. They can't train nothing but a high drive dog. If a dog ain't fucking with treats or something like that, they can't train that dog. Matter of fact, a lot of them gonna tell you, get you another dog. They think the dog ain't trainable just because he's not high in food prey drive. So when you take trainers that's limited like that, I mean, of course we all want a dog that's easier to train. But some of your better dogs, man, especially for protection work, a lot of your protection dogs, man, some of them may not have that prey drive, that type of drive that you're looking for. But that don't mean they can't make a great personal protection dog.
And here, Joe, I know you might get a kick out of this. From what I understand, Muhammad Ali got beat up when he was a kid. And he got tired of getting beat up. So he told his uncle, his dad, or somebody, he wanted to learn how to box because he was tired of getting beat up. Well, when you get certain puppies, you have to stimulate that drive in them to make that thing turn on. And then once that light switch goes off, they off and running. And what the problem is, everybody don't know how to tickle that dog to get him to make that light switch go off. And that's the problem. They want the light switch already on when they get that pup or that young dog, because they don't know how to stimulate them to get them running.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, see, go ahead.
then depending on the dog that you have, if you don't know nothing about the dog that you have in his pedigree, then like I had some dogs that man, from 8 weeks to 6 months, I could do everything I want with these dogs. I mean, they would take it. But then I had some dogs that, shit, I gotta wait till these dogs is damn near 9 to 18 months to do some of the same shit because they're just not that dog. So you gotta know when to back off a pup and when to wait on him, when to wait on one to mature. You know what I'm saying? Because they all ain't just key ready, man.
Know how you got it, and that's with every breed, not just Malinois and Shepherds, Cane Corsos, Pit Bulls. And I'm a firm believer in this, and not everybody thinks like this. I can take a game bred Pit Bull, and if I get him young enough, I can manipulate his thinking pattern into what I need him to be. I can take his mind off of being a fighting dog. Now I'm fighting genetics all the way down to everything in the dog. But if I get him young enough and I stimulate certain things in that particular puppy, then I can make him do exactly what I want him to do. I've trained over the years, I think 3 or 4 Pit Bulls for narcotics work, and they not known for nose work like that. Cane Corso, I just did something. I got female here that find dope. You can't hide the dope from her. She'll find it, So if you get a dog young enough, you can work against the genetics to a certain degree. If you're really good at it, you can go against it about 98% and suppress it just enough to get that dog to what you need. If you're really good, you can get them all the way about 98% where you don't have to really worry about it. So I've had Dobermans, I've had Akitas, I've had Chows, and most of us that's been in the dog training and dogs, we've had different breeds until we kind of found what really our sweet spot per se. And I've tried it with all of them. My little Chihuahua right here, I tell her mama's home. She gets excited. She goes run to the door. She starts looking out the door in the driveway looking for my wife to come home. Is that genetic? Yeah, I don't know what that's called. I call it training.
That's conditioning. That's training. That's conditioning.
I said, Mom at the door. And boy, she get excited. She jump up and she go run to the door looking for my wife. I taught her to sitting down and she's real defensive. Of course, most Chihuahuas are like that. But am I fighting genetics? No, I'm just manipulating what I want out of her. With any dogs, like some of these bigger dogs, they can do the work, but they just slow at doing it as compared to a Mal, a Dutch, or a good German Shepherd. Some of the Corsos I've seen, big dogs, they just move slow, but when they hit you, they're gonna do some damage. And but you stimulate them just right. You can pep them up just a little bit and get them to move a little faster than most of them do. Some of the Borbals, I've never trained a Borbal. I've evaluated a couple of them, but they were average at best. Can they be protective in the size? If somebody, this is my selling point when I train protection dogs. If I come to your house, Joe, and one of your big dogs come run up to the fence and bark, I'm like, whoa, let me go. I'm going next door. I'll go break in the house next door. But what happens if I'm high and I say, man, I really want that 4-wheeler sitting in Joe's yard, and I challenge that dog? So now, is he up to the challenge? If hadn't been trained, I'm not going to count on his genetics to do that, because if you break in my house, Joe, and I come down the hallway and I point a gun at you, you don't know if I got bullets in that gun or not, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to challenge me, you say, look, you got to shoot. What I'm going to do, throw the damn gun at you?
Yeah.
I'd rather have that dog that I train, that I know if I send him at you, or you cross that door, that threshold of that door, and you ain't supposed to be there, your ass is grass.
Yeah. You want to know for
have the surety.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact. I want to have the surety of knowing that, not just the bluff of it, of a big dog. And some people see that size on dogs, some of them big dogs, and that's enough for the average, for most people to say, okay, I'll go next door and do something next door. But I want the surety. Even if I have a big dog like that, I'm gonna put enough work in where you cross that line, you're gonna eat you from your ass to your appetite.
So you just want to be sure that your dog is up for whatever you think that you may encounter, and for your purpose of why you have him. You want to be sure of that. Like
I want to be
John said,
sure of it. Yeah.
some big
Yeah.
dogs, people just gonna back away. Period. It really ain't got to be a big dog. You got to hell a little dog that make a lot of noise. They probably go to the next address or go down the street because hell, when dogs bark and make noise, people start looking out windows and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
a lot of times, just having a dog that'll make some noise, he's gonna be a deterrent when it comes to certain things like that.
Yeah.
Now let's say if you wasn't at home, and like John said, somebody wanted that 4-wheeler up in their yard. Now they may test your dog.
Yep.
They may challenge your dog. There's some fools out there that will.
Sure
They
will.
may try to befriend him, kiss him to him. Shit, But they're gonna test that dog. And in most cases, a lot of times, the first couple of steps that a person take forward, some dogs may go to thinking, "Oh shit."
Wait a minute. Look, wait a minute. I ain't never saw that.
Wait. Ain't nobody done this before.
Yeah.
Say, wait a minute. Hold the hell up. Yeah. Hold the hell up, man.
But me as a dog trainer, man, I tell you, when I go around people and their dog is barking, a lot of times I can look at their dog and their dog's body language, and I can tell if that some bitch is really gonna try me, if he gonna try to sneak me, or if he gonna come up and get in my chest. But I don't really wanna encounter none of them. I don't wanna play with that some bitch that's gonna sneak bite me. Wait till I turn my back, because all dog bites, they can't. Hey, everybody that trained dogs probably been bit by their puppy. And when the puppy's just playing with them, and man, can you just imagine a dog chewing on you for real, man? So most people, man, they ain't gonna challenge that dog. Most people, they're just not gonna do it.
No.
Hey, let me ask y'all something right quick. What are some of the signs before a dog bites you? I know one time you was talking about, how they kind of like side eye you. Yeah. What other? Is there any other signs about they when they finna nail your ass?
Well, to me, you got to know. It's like, okay, let's take an insecure dog. An insecure dog, man. How many times I've seen a couple of shows where they take these dogs on these news channels and shit, and the news reporter get down in the dog's face, and next thing you know, this dog is snapping at him. You take a dog that's very insecure, boy, he's just got that nervous look in his eye. He's got that, he's not confident at all. A lot of times his ears is going to kind of either go out sideways, lay back a little bit, but he's not going to have a confident, sure look. He may flinch if you move, but then there's some dogs that's confident. Even a confident dog that may get you, he may raise his hackles up. A lot of people think because a dog raises hackles up that he's scared or he's unsure. Shit, I know some confident some bitches that'll raise their hackles up and give you everything you want, but a lot of times that dog that's really serious about getting you, shit. That one that really wants to get you no matter what, boy, you may see that tail wagging. He's gonna be looking you up in your eye. And he's
That's
just going, he's gonna be looking you in your eye.
That's it.
And when that son bitch is looking you in your eye, hey, that's enough right there.
Yeah.
To say, man, I don't want to challenge this dog.
Yeah. That last video where the girl bent down and that police dog kind of got there and got her in her face and then got her on the hand. You look at that video real good. He looked her dead in her eye. He turned and pow right in her face. Yeah. That's where the threat is coming from, right here. Mm-hmm. And that's what he got first. Pow. And he wasn't a serious dog, because if he would have been, he'd have grabbed that and just held on.
He'd have kept going. He was just snapping at her, telling her to get back.
Yeah, telling her to bag your ass up. So it's a couple of things. I've seen some dogs that stiffen up before they bite you. I've seen a dog that stiffened up and he relaxed and he turned around and walked off and then he doubled back on the guy.
Right.
It was like he faked him out. I'm going away. Pow! Turn around and got him on the leg. So all dogs or some dogs do the same similar things, and then you got some that do just the opposite of what the stereotypical dog would do before they bite. You know, what irritates me with a lot of these new jack trainers, they think a blanket coverage it applies to all dogs, and that it doesn't work. That doesn't, in the real world, that don't happen like that. You know, some people say, like I've been saying, I prefer a dog. If my dog has to get on somebody and he bites him in the face, so be it. And I've gotten a lot of flack over the years for that. But when my life is on the line, my wife's life's on the line, my kids, my grandkids or something, and that dog has to defend them, I don't care where he bites him at. Just
Hey,
take care of that problem, and I'll deal with the stuff on the back end. You know,
exactly.
So Joe, what's the guy Jordan, the guy with the Borbles?
Oh, Jordan, yeah.
Yeah, man. Why guys have dogs that do that sort of stuff? And what kind of life are they living? What kind of life are you living? You know, they got some people need dogs in some bad neighborhoods. You know, I'll give you a prime example, guys. I trained this couple's dog for basic obedience. The guy hesitated on doing protection work. Now, he owns a construction company, and it was about 8 years in between me doing about 7 years in between the obedience and them this thing coming up. So it came up where the guy had a video, and it was on the news because the guy chased the dog stark ass naked, like he wanted to rape the dog. In the video, you can see the dog running from the guy. But they didn't want to get the dog protection trained to protect their property where they kept all their equipment for the company. You know, could that have stopped it, or at least chewed the guy peck off or whatever to bit him on his ass or something? You know, so when I saw that, it was in the newspaper, online, all kinds of stuff. Joe, I'll send you the picture later of it. I went over there and I asked the guy about it. I said, see, if you would have got that dog trained, your dog wouldn't have almost got molested or whatever. He did that to me and told me get out of his office.
Hey, y'all, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Share. Everybody do that for us, man.
I'll tell you what, guys. Oh, go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying these guys are coming by and dropping information that most of us can't get, man. So please share and show your appreciation for them. All right,
most people, man, most people just want a dog for a pet, man. There's a lot of people that they don't want a biting dog.
Right.
You'll be amazed at how many people don't want a biting dog. You know, just like there's a lot of people that won't carry guns because they don't want to shoot nobody. Then there's some people that carry guns and don't want to shoot nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so with that biting dog, protection dog, like he was saying, that guy just wanted obedience. I've ran into that plenty of times where people, I mean, they had some great potential protection dogs, but they just didn't want the dog to have any bite training because they said they just didn't want the dog to bite anybody. You know.
Yeah.
I personally, like I say, I hope and pray that my dogs never have to bite anybody. But I think in most cases around, if anything happened around my house, you probably be better off if that dog got a hold of you versus what I probably would do to you doing some foul shit around my place, you know. Yeah. So you got a better chance of living with that damn dog. You know.
You know what? What John said, it's kind of like to see a dog get to that point, because like my wife, I always ask her, you think we can, you know, get the dog to that level? No, it's too dangerous. But then, and then one time, one of my dogs, I got a mean Central Asian Shepherd bitch, right? And one time we had somebody over, and that Shepherd ran that person out of the yard, biting in the ass, you know, ran him out the yard. And then once my wife saw that, she said, "Damn," she said, "I was scared." But at the end, she kind of appreciated that she knew that the dog would do something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Well, a lot of people, especially women, man, they think once we turn that dog on to biting, and really it turns on. I mean, it opens. I mean, if you got a good dog, he will look for that opportunity. And a lot of times women, especially women with children, man, they think that that dog may eventually get their
Mm-hmm.
kids or bite the kids. But a lot of times, if you raise the dog up correctly with the family, and he's had some proper training, or the ones without training, man, the kids would probably be the last one that dog will ever try to bite.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree with
uh,
that. Yeah,
Especially
yeah,
that central shepherd you got, Joe, because they're guardian breeds. So if they
Yeah.
raised up with them
Yeah.
kids is actually out there playing in the yard with them and helping you feed and maintenance these dogs, man.
Exactly.
Shit, them dogs, hey, them kids ain't gotta, your wife ain't gotta worry about them kids being bit.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
You
She
know,
knows it. Yeah.
So
And I
training the dog stability is the first thing that I talk to people when I talk about training a protection dog. That dog has to be very stable. And I won't train a dog for a family if the wife isn't involved, if the kid's not involved in the training. So I don't take people's dogs and train the dog and then tell them to come pick the dog up. You have to be
that's the
involved in
worst can be
this.
done.
Yeah, you got to be involved in it. Or if I have a dog, so here's two different streets, Joe. If I have a dog that I plan on keeping that will never leave my yard, I train that dog a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a dog that I know that he's just so chilled and he's such a light switch, and I put that training into him to be that light switch dog,
Mm-hmm.
then I train that dog to be sold in the future. So I train him a little different. But before I sell that dog to somebody, it's not a 1-day process. It's not a 2-day process. I have to make sure that that dog accepts them, that they accept the dog. The dog understands that this is the new home, what's going on in that. And I have to know those people's lifestyle. And the dog has to fit. Selling a dog that doesn't fit the lifestyle, you're asking for trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Prime example is the guy had I won't say high level sports dog, but the dog was a beast of a dog, man. Control, kind of could have used a little touch up, but he sold his dog to an NBA player, 50,000.
Ooh, chicken.
50 grand. Sold the dog to him. 3-4 weeks later, the dog ate up the guy's housekeeper. 200 stitches later. Could have cost this dude his profession. She could have cost him his career if it would have gotten out what happened. But he sold 50,000. Man, that dog was too much for the guy that had him. Mm-hmm. Let alone sell him to somebody else. You're putting him in a situation like that, a 30-minute transfer time, and then you leave with the money and you go on and let the dog. No. That didn't fit. That shouldn't have fit because of the dog. For one, he was just too high of a dog to put in a family situation like that. Mm-hmm. You know.
Well, I don't care what kind of dog a person buy. There's no way that you can go buy a fully trained dog today and bring him home and expect him to be protective and safe with your family. That's just not wise at all. If that dog don't know the family, know the surroundings, and if he's a real protection dog, somebody in your family gonna get hurt. See, I never sold fully trained dogs, man. I would always just sell young dogs with some potential, dogs that I put a lot of obedience on and just got them started in some bite work. Mm-hmm. And then I sell them to the families and I let the family bond with them. And then I tell them, if they want more, come back. Once the dog has learned the household, learn who goes, who's supposed to be there, who ain't. But when you go buy a dog that's supposed to be fully trained, and you bring him home, I don't care. He's in most cases, it ain't gonna work. Somebody it's not safe at all. It's not wise at all.
Well, here respectfully,
you gotta be okay, hold on, John. You have to be somebody like me or you that has some dog training experience.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But the average Joe or the average family, they they wouldn't have the experience and the knowledge.
They wouldn't have that experience, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So, hey, I knew where you was supposed to go. That's why I finished it up.
So I did this to a guy one day. We moved out to California for a while, but before I left, my personal dog, I did a little different work with him. So I did him what I was taught was called leash manipulation. So Joe, if you come to my house, I could walk up to you, give you the leash, tell you how to work him. I could turn around 10 feet and come back at you and tell you what, I told you how to turn him on, what to do, and he'd treat me like he never saw me. All right, you tell him it's over with, you bring the leash back to me, give me the leash, and I tell you to turn around and come back, and he'll treat you like you just didn't even have the leash 2 minutes ago.
Damn.
But that's a dog that took a lot of work to get to that point. Mm-hmm. And if I didn't hand you that leash, you couldn't go out in the yard and put the leash on him. Just wasn't going to happen. It has to be transferred like that. And He would work for you as if he's been knowing you all his life. Now, it takes a lot of training and a lot of understanding of a dog's physiology. Is that the word I'm looking for? To know how to train a dog for that particular situation. Now, if it's a dog that I'm going to keep, I've had a few that I'm going to keep. I just kind of got used to and learned, if somebody wants a dog that I got and they're willing to pay for it, I'm willing to transfer the dog over to him. But it's been a certain few that I say, no, he ain't going nowhere. He'll die here. I won't let him go anywhere. And I've trained him a little differently,
Yeah.
So that's the dogs that I keep here. But you got some of these companies, they selling dogs for $150,000, $200,000, $85,000, $95,000. What is that dog doing different than what I'm doing or somebody else is doing? What CT's doing? What another trainer that doesn't have this lot of money to throw into advertisement and all this shit. Man, I read the descriptions on some of that shit. Since when they got 4 levels of protection dogs? Alert dog, basic protection 1, 2, 3. When they get 3, 4 levels of protection dogs, what the hell is that all about?
It's just a sales pitch, man.
Just a sales pitch and advertising. Man, get the freak out. And most of those dogs, if you put pressure on them some bitches will leave the owner standing there, and them some bitches will be 10 blocks down the road still running.
A lot of that type of stuff, John, is I mean, me and you both know they're preying on the people that's less knowledgeable.
And that's what we've been doing, CT. We didn't plan it. We never talked about it. But what we want to do, we want to educate the people that's looking into possibly getting the dog trained, how to choose a puppy that fits their situation, and stop listening to these people that's saying, oh, your dog has to be like this, or the dog has to be like this, or he has to be trained like this. At the end of the day, they can use whatever word they want to use for training. They can say whatever they want to say. They can go whatever system that NWA. I think that's the biggest goddamn crock of shit that they ever come up with. Because at the end of the day, the dog is on so many ways you can make him sit, stay down, and come back when you call him. And at the end, you don't need to use all this fancy dancy shit. Break it down, because the person that 9 times out of 10 that needs that dog, they're not going to remember what you're telling them anyway. Mm-hmm. And at the heat of the moment, God forbid you, if they got a protection dog and they have to use it, and they got to sit there and think too much of what it is they need to do to have that dog defend them. Mm-hmm. They don't need all this fancy shit at the end of just the basic, simple shit that most people that we run across that's going to, and the people that think they need it, when you sit down, you have an in-depth talk with them, they don't need it. And they realize it soon enough. But then you got some of them, they go buy dogs from people like somebody down in Florida, and they're paying $2,500, $3,000 for a dog that's already turned up to level 12. And all that shit, they think they want that shit until they get it, but they actually need a dog at level 2. Mm-hmm. But that looks good. That's real good. And the guy that does it sells them a pup, knowing in the back of his mind, I'm gonna sell him this dog for $3,000 and I'll just wait a couple of months and I'll wait for him to call me. I tell him just bring him back.
He know it's coming back. He
know it's coming back.
And that's sorry to do people like that, man. That is just
that's a piece of shit, dude.
Yeah, that's a piece of shit, man, to take advantage of people like that. But man, that happens so often.
Right. Let me stick this one there since it's on topic.
Yeah, what's that say?
This Oklahoma, we sell Broken Bro in Oklahoma. In my experience in the dog world, there's a lot of talented artists, not a ton of solid business folks. What are y'all thoughts on that comment?
Well, I mean, shit, he dead on, man. There is a lot of talent out there. I mean, so many dog trainers, man. They try to act like this shit we do is some fucking like we ain't no damn dog whisperer. We don't have to be a dog whisperer. It ain't no goddamn ancient Chinese secrets, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't one man's theory and one man's philosophy. Man, shit. There's a lot of people out there that can train a dog, but like he said, the business part of it is so fucked up, man. And that's what a lot of times people in the general public, they get stuck one time and then they're done.
They done. They never want to.
They don't even want to deal with it no more.
I evaluated a dog for a couple out here, older couple. They bought a dog from some company up in Rhode Island somewhere. They charged $14,500 for this dog. Then they had to pay for the shipping, put the guy's helpers up in a hotel room for 3 days to transfer the dog over, so they say, and all that. So people called me a couple of months later, and they said, hey, John, we just found out about you. Can you come eval the dog for us? And so on and so on. And so I had them give me a little description of what was going on. I say, sure, I'll come over. I charge them $100, go evaluate the dog. So I look at the paperwork that they got on the dog. The guy had a nice pamphlet and a brochure and all this shit for him. And what it was, the guy just bought a Schützen title dog. So the obedience was done. The dog was housebroken. All that was done when the guy got the dog to his facility. All he did was put a little man work on him, very little man work on the dog, and sold these people a dog for a personal protection dog, home protection. So when I read the description, I told the people what tests I was going to do and how the dog should react. I said, once we do this and whatever happens, I'll show you if the dog fails, what he should have done and how the dog should have reacted. So one of the tests, I said, just leave the front door open. I want y'all be out in the front yard. I want the dog to see me get in my car and leave. Because now in the dog's mind, I'm gone. Leave the front door open. Y'all just go in the house like you normally do. So I go down the street. I come back. I walk in the front door. The dog takes 2 steps towards me, about 20 yards away, and down the hallway. And he takes 2 steps and he barks one time. And I said, get the fuck out of here. Man, he turned around and got under the lady's bed in the bedroom. And I told her what should happen. I showed her a video of what should have happened. Mm-hmm. So I said, just one of those things, man. And there's another scenario that happened, and it did worse than that one. So by then, well, what do you think we ought to do? And I explained to him what happened to him, how they got shot, got the shaft put in them, and all that shit. So they wound up calling the guy. They had to threaten to sue the guy, send the dog back. The guy attorney called me. Their attorney called me. Well, what expertise you got and what test did you do and all this stuff or whatever. And I told the guy's attorney, look, man, reading this paper, the dog should have passed that little test with flying colors with blindfolds on. There's nothing that I did that should have been new to this dog, according to this paper that he sold this dog on. Mm-hmm. And of course, they were burnt. It took them about a month and a half to get their money back, but they didn't want to buy another dog. They got burnt by this guy, and now they sour to the fact of having a dog. And I said, hey, look, I can get you a dog you will be involved in the training of that dog from the start to finish. So you will have an understanding on how that dog's put together. If we just sitting here and the dog just happened to get up in your house and look at the door where he hears something outside the house, you need to pay attention to that. So you need to learn how to read that dog's body language if something like that happens,
And how to feed and nurture his instincts, or whether it be training or natural.
Right.
And that way, if people are involved in the training of the dog, then they have a better understanding of the dog and they will like the dog better. And it makes the wives and the kids more interested in it because they're part of it and they can see the growth in the dog, and they can see where if the wife's in the kitchen cooking and that dog just all of a sudden gets up and go run to the front door. Somebody's about to come in the door. The dog hears somebody stepping on leaves or twigs or something like that. And the dog should make his presence known or be ready to make his presence known if they break that threshold of that door or kick a window in, or something like that. Then the dog should take care of business. But them knowing and being involved in it makes them appreciate more, and then the dollar amount isn't even in the conversation because they don't mind it when they learn from start to finish on how that dog's put together.
Well, this is the thing.
And see, that's where a lot of people, man, and a lot of trainers, they want to get me out of the way, because I tell people all the time, man, if you taking your dog and leaving it at a board and train, or you taking your dog and dropping it off to be protection trained, and if that trainer doesn't come back and spend damn near just as much time with you handling and showing you how to guide this dog, how to handle this dog, then shit, that dog ain't gonna work for you like he worked for the people that trained him for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was my next point gonna be identifying a bad dog. I know you got kicked out one of those major protection groups for your
I
dog.
get kicked out of all of them, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah. So
like I got kicked out by the damn, he's supposed to be Hans Alpine. I'm gonna call him out. Hans Alpine kicked me out because I made a couple of videos. He was talking about some superstitious behavior, and I just simplified the video and simplified the point that he was trying to make, and he got offended by it, and then he started he started tagging me in little comments.
Oh, really?
And if I didn't say what he wanted to say, man, now he's talking about I was abusing him. He actually said I was abusing him. And I told him, you sound like one of them cur-ass dogs. and he kicked me out the damn, he kicked me out the group, man.
Oh.
Yeah. So that shit there is out of my control. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them, man, and the thing about Hans Alpine, it was some of the shit that he do, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But man, people, when you ain't just 100% on board with them, they get offended by it, man.
Oh yeah, they got a problem with you.
You know, like John was getting ready to say a while ago. He was getting ready to say, Clyde, I respectfully disagree with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And shit, if before I clarified it, because I knew where he was going, but before I fixed it, if he still respectfully disagreed with me, that's fucking okay.
Yeah, right.
I don't have to be mad at John.
Yeah.
I don't have to not like John. You know what I'm saying? Because we all got an opinion, man. You know what I'm saying? And what works for me, it may not work for John. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't make me any better or me any worse or him any better or him any worse.
Exactly.
But so many trainers, man, they don't.
Oh man, they don't want to check their ego, man. They don't want to check their ego at the door, man, and that's sad that it's like that, man. I'll get invited to a guy. I got invited to a guy out in California on a training day. On a training day, man, I went out and I just sat there and enjoyed his company. He enjoyed my company. Met some of his guys and all that sort of stuff, man. And we said I went over to his place 2 or 3 times, man. And not many people will invite you to their place on a training day, because they don't want to expose what they're doing or what's going on with them, or let you see the type of work that they do. They may be mishandling dogs or mistreating dogs or something, and they don't want you to see that, But this guy, man, Gary, I think his name is Gary Frank. Nice guy, man. Out of all the guys that invited me out to California, Gary and Reggie, I stopped at a guy named Reggie. Reggie sells a lot of Malinois pups. But all those other guys, the guy that has a Netflix series, what is his name out there in California, in San Francisco?
Did Joe have
He
him on
has
the show?
no,
No.
he never had him. Never had him on
Okay.
the but Jay, is it Jay something or whatever or something? But he was one of them. Oh yeah, John, when you get here, man, make sure you come out, man. You can come out and come and join us and train with us and all that stuff. And man, I'm calling him as I'm going across the Golden Gate Bridge. Never forget this. That son of a bitch never answered the phone, never called me back or anything, man. And one of the other guys that broke away from him, same thing. Oh man, you're more than welcome to come here, but I don't fit their stereotypical type thing, you know. If I go there and see some bullshit, I'll call him on it.
Yeah, you will,
Man,
boy. Woo, John.
oh man,
you
hey,
will,
man, what's
yeah.
that? You know, what's up with that? What's going on with that shit? You know, and then, especially if I see it, if what I'm maybe presenting to them or questioning them on can benefit the dog, you know. Now, I may not know much about the dog, so I'm kind of skeptical on what I say because I don't know the whole picture of the dog or what they really aiming at. But for that particular exercise I see that they're trying to do, if I think it's bullshit, I'll call them on it. And I'm pretty sure some people may want to call my stuff.
Right.
But I got a compliment today, Joe, from a guy that's been in the business 40 plus years that called me and he said, look, Mims, I don't watch many other people's videos, he said, but I saw something I saw you do, man, and I've been watching your stuff ever since, and I tip my hat to you for what you done, you know, and that just did me, man. I'm like, Joe, I took my shirt off and I walked around this living room with my chest stuck out, man, when I got through talking to that dude, you know, for somebody that's been in the industry that long and has done it, what this guy has done, and it's been proven with what he's done, to tip his hat to me, man, you know, it meant a lot to me, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Let me add on that for a minute, man. Hey, so Joe, man, John had been reaching out back and forth on YouTube for man over a couple of years, man. And you know, he would make a few comments and call and talk to me, man. But not once did I know the caliber of trainer that John was, and I mean, he didn't brag about, he didn't talk about shit, you know, he just called and talked to me about whatever. But then it took another trainer to tell me, I was telling him something, and he said there's a guy in Louisiana named John, man, he's this, he's that, and he had got a technique from John that he was using, and he said, man, that dude is bad, that dude's been all over. And I said, and at the time, I couldn't even remember John's name. I said, man, I talked to a guy on my YouTube page from LA named John. I said, man, let me find out his last name. And I think I must have goddamn called John and said, man, what's your last name?
Yeah, I remember that conversation.
Hey,
yeah.
And I said, man, all this time, I never knew that this dude was so worldwide and so high up in the dog training world like he was, man, because he didn't come to me with his chest out telling me what he done, this and that. He would just call and talk to me about an issue.
Yeah, he real down to earth. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just talk about something, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna give a shout out to Antonio Torres. He's a dog trainer out there, but he actually told me how well renowned that John was when it comes to this dog training, man.
I remember, Clyde, you said...
Hold on, let me cut you off for a minute.
Yeah.
It's my show. No, I was kidding.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Judge sent me a video last night of a dog finding some dope on a nail head in a field.
No, it wasn't no dope odor.
What was
it was human odor. I just rubbed that nail before I pushed it in the ground.
Oh, okay. Yeah. In a field.
Well, and that's the exercise that this boy was talking about, and he was really impressed with that, and he started implementing that in his training, man. But he did tell me that man, I picked this up from John Mims, and like I said, he told me that, man, John's been all over. John knows people in this dog game, man. And I was just, after he telling me that, man, I was just so, hey, I'm like, God damn. I was just so hyped that I know that this motherfucker's been reaching out to me all this time. I'm like,
I remember you called me.
I'm really nobody in the dog world. I ain't been places that John's have been. I ain't done the things that John has done, man. I just kind of know how to train and I'm gonna tell people, my thing is personal protection. I can work now. I can get a dog. If I got a dog with that drive, I can't get this son of a bitch to hunt and search and find anything that I want him to. You know what I'm saying? But that takes a dog with certain genetics and certain drives to really get him to work effectively. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the right dog. But man, I was just impressed that John just didn't come to me sticking his chest out, man. You know, for 2 years, man, I never knew this brother was who he was.
Yeah, I remember that conversation. You called me, you said, "Hey, motherfucker, why you ain't tell me you was known like that?"
2 years we've been talking, man, and not once.
And I got a group on Facebook called Real Life Working Dogs.
Oh, you do? You ain't tell this shit.
See,
Yeah,
that's
it's on Facebook. It's called Real Life Working Dogs. And I got 4,600 members in that group. And it's just, and I look at it sometime and I'm amazed because I'm saying, man, just little old me, I just put that up and I post something every now and then to kind of show that the moderator is active in it. But out of all the people in it, some people that just to learn and watch and pick up little things and they don't want to, and every now and then I'll put on there, you know, hey man, it's this many people in this group. Can we get a few more people active in the group and stuff like that? But some of the best advice, Joe, that I ever got, Joe and CT, was by the guy that up at Baden Canine. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. He used to be in New York, then he moved over to Canada. Baden, he's been around probably 50 years by now. But he says, John, he says, let me tell you something, in this dog world, he says, you can brag on yourself and somebody will find something to beat you up on. He said, but just keep your head down and do your thing and let other people talk about you. That'll get you a lot farther in this world, you know, in this dog world. And I never forgot that, man. And that's what kind of keeps me grounded on that sort of thing. Until somebody pulls on Superman's cape, then Superman will come out on their ass, you know?
Yeah. Broken Bro had a question. What are a few scent work exercises to start a 9-week-old Mal pup on?
Chase drive. I'll say just get him chasing shit. Get him to throw the ball out there, disorientate him, take him off of it, let him go, see if he'll hunt and find that ball.
But keep it short. Make it real short.
Short and simple.
Maybe 5 steps, 10 steps, and have him where he can see it at first. You know,
Build
it's
success.
It's a straight line, right? Straight line to it and back. Straight line to it and back. And when he perfects that, then you throw it in some grass that's about that high. So he's used to smelling whatever smells on that pipe or whatever you use, whatever toy, and you put it in the grass. You throw it in the grass. So now he can't see it. So now he has to work off of that nose. And then you just start building and adding time and duration into that, stuff like that. So, Joe, the video I sent you, I think I hit that nail, and it's around the corner for me. It takes me about 2 minutes to drive over there. I'll go over there and I'll hide something. I'll come back home, and without getting too technical, if I come home and get the dog and go right back over there and have him find it, that's easy. No, that's harder. Because the odor doesn't have a lot of time. If this is the odor, this is the nail I push in the ground, and I'm giving away some secrets, and I'm gonna stop doing that. But hey, whatever.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So if I push this nail in the ground, and I come home and get the dog, and I go back, that odor may have gotten this far away from it. Can you see that, Joe?
Yeah.
Y'all see that?
We see
In a short time, the odor doesn't go far away from it. But if I come home and wait 30 minutes, like I've tried it all ways, I've did it different ways. I'll come home, clean the pens, feed everybody, then I'll load him up and I'll take him back over there. Well, now in the 30 minutes, 45 minutes, that odor has gotten this far away from it. So it's easier for him to smell it when you wait a few minutes. That's easy. I mean, that's harder when the odor's dispersed.
It done dispersed.
It done dispersed. So you have to build up that hunt drive and that dog to learn to keep hunting until you find it. Now, there's a trick to it. That's one of the things I taught Antonio. There's a trick to it when he's just about to give up. There's a little trick that I do and make him say, oh, there it is. And now what the dog learns is, if I just go a little bit more, I'm going to find it. If I go 10 seconds more, I'm gonna find it. And you keep building. And before you know it, you got a dog that'll search an area for 30 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, and he won't give up. Because he knows it's out there. There's success somewhere out there in that field. And Joe, that area where I'm at over there on that video, that's probably 3 or 4 acres. That son of a bitch will search that whole 3 or 4, and he won't stop until he finds what he's looking for.
Wow.
You know, and there's not a lot of dogs that do that, you know. Now, can I teach any dog to do that? If they willing to go 5 feet, I need to make him willing to go 10 feet. And I make it fun the whole time. It has to be fun. Has to be fun. He has to like doing that. Then I increase the distance and the time. Distance and time. And when I see him not wanting to do it, I'll try that little trick. And if that don't stimulate him, then I'll shut him down and I'll move on to another dog because he doesn't have the capacity to make him go farther out. But I'll give him every chance and try him to get to that point, you know. Now, with just say like your big dogs you got, Joe, what's that?
Corsos. Cane Corsos.
No, the other ones.
The Central Asian Shepherds.
Central Asian Shepherd. I don't know much about those dogs, but if I get one of those puppies that's 7, 8 weeks old and I start playing that little short game with him and start building on it, can I get him to start finding stuff like that? Hell yeah. Can I get him to start walk from here to your house, Joe, from Louisiana to Arkansas for a bite? Yeah, but I start off going from here to the next town over, here to the next town over, here to the next town over. It's knowing how to put those blocks together. It's a process. And what a lot of people want to do, they want to skip those processes. You can't skip them when you're putting a dog together and your life is on the line, or if I sell a dog to a police department, or I sell a dog to the guy that has a contract where that dog is in a short period of time going to a police department. I know what those guys look for. So I have to put that dog together. So when they get a dog from me that's going to a department, they don't have to backtrack, just check what I've done. They know when they get that dog from me, they can take him and go this way. They don't have to go this way with him, you know?
So let me, for those of you that don't know me, I'm sorry, man. I'm CT with CT's Touch Horses /dogs. That's my YouTube page. And on that page, a lot of the people that are familiar with me, they familiar with one of my dogs. I got a dog called Blue. But on my page, if you go back and scroll way down there, you will see a video where I think the playlist says Training Red. Red was a brother to Blue. And there's a video on there where it would demonstrate and show what John was talking about it when you come to building the dog's hunt drive and letting the dog hunt for something. But there is a video on my page with Red, and you're going to see Red. I took Red. Actually, I was making that video because I had somebody interested in him, and I took Red to a place that he had never been before. And there was some grass probably about knee high. And I threw a ball out in that grass. And I just wanted to show that person this dog's potential to hunt. You know what I'm saying? And it was a ball that I played with him with, but I could go somewhere and I could hide that ball and I can tell him to look for it. And he would hunt for that ball and he would hunt extensively. Because like John said, I took steps to where he know I set him up for success. I started with short and let him know that ball's there, but I started out with letting him just actually go see it. They gotta want to go. They gotta want to go get it when they could see it. But then what I did is, so when he see it, he's sight hunting. Okay, so when a dog is hunting, he's sight hunting, he's air hunting, or he's on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Those are the 3 ways that a dog hunt. And what I've learned by messing with dogs, you gotta have that dog. If you really want a bad dog, you need that dog that'll put his nose on the ground. It's okay to visual and air hunt. That air, just like John said, when you take him out to that, when he took his dog out to that spot, eventually that smell's gonna disperse. So when it disperses, that dog can kind of air hunt it first. And that air may lead him to an area where it gets stronger But then at
You
some
start
point,
narrowing it down.
narrow
You
it
start
down. But at
narrowing it
some
down.
point,
Yeah.
he got to put his nose. He got to put his nose to the ground.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody, once again, hit the like button. Hit the like button for us, and go to these guys' YouTube pages. There's a lot of information. Top Dog Canine, CT's Touch Horses and Dogs. Y'all go to their pages. I know y'all looking for more information. They go a little bit deeper over there. You can see more things. And we might have to quit bullshitting and go. I know how John feel about seminar, but we might have to pull something up in somewhere cheap where people can come in the middle of America and go meet up and get a little.
Well, what I'm
remember
thinking
that?
is,
What was that guy?
that all them people that's spending that 40,000 for these dogs, maybe me and John need to get together.
I'm telling you,
and come test these dogs and show them that, boy, you spent 40,000 for something you could have spent 3,000 for.
Yeah,
there's a guy that Joe, you had him on your show. I don't want to say his name because I respect the guy, but $14,500 to go to his school. 14 for 4 months.
Yeah.
For 4 month school.
I start counting.
And I know
wait a minute,
a guy
14 grand for 4 months?
For 4 months, 14.5 to go to this guy's school. A buddy of mine out in Texas had 2 people that went to his school. He said, man, them people came to his and joined his club. He has a working dog club. And he said them people had no more knowledge about dogs than a man on the fucking moon, man. You know, and they spent 14 grand at that time. That just blew me away, man, because of his name, the guy's name, they went, you know, but like, you know, somebody will call me and most of the times I'll give people the information, you know, and I've shortchanged myself over the years, man, doing that, you know, just because of the kind of person I am until somebody, like I said, until they pull on Superman's cape, you know?
That's because we really love what we're doing, and we didn't really start doing this. You didn't probably start doing this for to make your living. Because if you probably started doing it to make your living, then sometimes, boy, people all they see is dollar signs. They don't care.
That's all.
They don't
That's
care
all.
about fucking nobody.
Yeah.
So to tie that into these people that's hanging papers, that's bullshitting people on what they're getting, or pushing puppies off on people that oh man, I know you like this one, but this son of a bitch here is gonna be the man, and they pushing that puppy off on people, or they like I said, they paper whooping people, lying saying that they get registration on puppies, knowing damn well they can't get registration on some of these puppies. You know, I know a guy. This BRN numbers, this with the working males and stuff, Joe, and some shepherds and Dutches, BRN number. People are real big on that. But I know people that, hey man, I can call a guy that owns that registry and get what I need done on that paper, and I can see.
True.
Man, you know, I'm not into that, man. I like going to sleep and sleeping through the night instead of thinking of who I screwed over, who can I screw over, and all that shit. You know, I ain't into that, man. You know, like the pit bull people, they want a dog off of this. And I think that was a conversation I heard on one of your podcasts. How far back that stuff goes, Joe, and because this dog's in the pedigree, this pup should be this. And I used to ask this question years ago. How many world champs have produced world champs? Not many. You can probably count it on one hand. And that's in any particular sport. Now, I know in the pit bulls, what a champion dog that produced so many champions, ROM, I think is the letters for that. Now, that's a different field. But when you get off into some of these other breeds and trying to do this and bullshit and scam people, man, that ain't my bag, man. People come here and they look at a pup, and if they don't like it, then hey, man, no problem. You know, I had a buddy of mine tell me, hey, John, man, I had a lady came and bought a pup from me, and she asked me about you, and you know, I just wanted to see what she says, so I kind of played dumb, and she didn't like the way your place looked, or she didn't like the way you started your dogs. I said, but wait a minute, she bought a pup from you, right? He says, yeah. I said, you know what I'm about to say? He says, yeah. He bought one of your pups because my stock comes from your place. So she actually bought one of your fucking pups, you know? But she just didn't like my presentation, didn't tickle her fancy or whatever, you know, and all of that shit. And if I got to change all that to sell dogs, I'll have a fucking yard full of them if that's the case.
Well, let me ask you this, John. Was he your skin color?
Yeah. He was
Okay,
brother.
because
Yeah.
sometimes to be
Yeah.
honest, man, they just rather not give us their money. They rather give somebody else their money, man. I
Yeah.
hate to say it, but they much rather give a white guy
Yeah,
their
and
money.
I've experienced that, and like this lady, she was a white lady. She didn't like me, and he's a lot fair skinned than me.
Oh, he
Not
light
saying that
skinned
meant
brother.
a lot, but what he does, what he doesn't do is he doesn't show his yard. He shows the dogs off his property, and that's a business move. You know,
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
his dogs off of his property, and I've had guys tell me this, Joe and CT, I would not shit you. They say, man, if people see my dogs and the way that my yard looks, I couldn't give a dog away.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just refuse to show their place like that. Now,
That's right. Yeah.
the guy, Joe, I mentioned his name to you a while. CT, I mentioned his name to you a while back. Ted Summer. So Ted Summer Sickler or whatever or something. He's up there in Oklahoma.
Not Ted Stickles, is you?
Sickles, yeah, whatever the hell is there.
Oh man, he was supposed to come down here and whoop me and all that shit.
Oh yeah, man. He was keyboard fighting me a couple of years ago.
Oh, he was gonna pull up on me and whoop me.
Oh, boy,
Yeah.
I got a bunch of those. I got a bunch of those. They be sending me videos. I'm like screaming and shit, tobacco chewing, overall wearing.
Oh wow.
Hey man. Hey, look. Hey, but he talked so much shit to me. He made me want to damn near pull up on him.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell y'all something about this show. Do you know when I have different guests, guess what happens to me?
What?
I get one of y'all enemies every time.
No
shit. I have a new guest. Oh yeah, I get an enemy. You want what you know? Take his video down and all this old shit. You know,
yeah.
Crazy.
That's crazy, man.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand. But one thing Ted said, he was keyboard fighting me, man, and we kind of went back and forth, and I said, hey man, listen, eventually I'm gonna meet you somewhere at a certification somewhere or a dog show or something. I'm gonna and I won't have a problem introducing myself to you. And that did it. That was it. But before that, he says, John, I must admit this. You have no problem showing anything about your system. And he says man, that is solid. And that's just how I am. You know, I don't have to have all that fancy stuff to put out good dogs. I just don't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But that's the marketing part about it.
It's because people are, I think the word is aesthetic.
Aesthetically pleasing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, aesthetically pleasing. Yeah.
So I don't have no $1 million facility. Yeah.
My place. Oh, your place is raggedy. I'm like, well, fuck. I'm not trying to sell you my place. I'm trying to sell you a puppy or a horse.
Trying to sell you a damn dog. A functioning dog. Yeah.
Right.
So,
but a lot of people, like John said, they won't show their place. They'll go take a picture of their dog somewhere else, or they'll go do a training video somewhere else. A lot of people, if you ask them on their page, are those your dogs? And most of them, a lot of them gonna say no because they got a picture of some other goddamn dog on their damn page, on their website.
Joe, I got stuff here that kills odor. It could be a dead animal, and I sprinkle this stuff over it, and you can stand right there over it, and you won't smell it. So I've had people that come to my place, and I open that side gate. And the guys, they walk in and they look at all the kennels and they say, man, I don't smell nothing. And I've had guys tell me, they say, man, if I didn't know you had dogs and from the noise, as far as the smell, you think you would have. No, I don't have issue with flies and fleas because I know what to do to take care of my yard. I live in the city. I have neighbors on both sides of me.
That's right.
I've never had any problem with them trying to call in on me or create an issue with me or none of that stuff. If my dogs bark, they know when to get dog, they need to shut up. Or if they bark in the middle of the night, I know somebody's walking too close down the sidewalk or something like that. But other than that, I know I've learned I have to keep it a certain thing going around here to keep my neighbors happy.
You got to respect.
Don't have a problem.
Yeah.
You know, and all of that stuff. But
you can't have a dog doing all that, a nuisance barking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're already scared of your dogs. You know what I'm saying?
They're already scared of them. Yeah. And some of these people, man, they go to the extreme on what they do and how this happens. And I'd rather put the time in my dog than put the time in a place and have a piece of shit dog And that's what I'm supposed to be known for, putting out good dogs. I got a nice place, but my dogs ain't worth jack shit. Ain't worth the food they eating.
Right.
That's going in reverse to me.
Man, some of these people just got really nice facilities that they just puppy mills. That's all they crank the motherfuckers out, but then they'll talk shit about you backyard breeder, man. Shut the fuck. Man, CT got one of the most powerful videos on YouTube. It's called Backyard Breeder. Yeah.
And a backyard breeder would make those other places a so-called top tier people what they are, because they depend on people that so-called backyard breeders to get good dogs, to get what they need. Or they go buy that supposedly hyped up shit across from over the pond, they call it, or whatever, Germany or wherever, and they half the time that shit they get sent over here is a piece of shit. I wouldn't feed that son of a bitch. You know, I wouldn't feed them. Here's one of the tricks, Joe. I don't know if I told you guys this or if people listening, if they've ever heard of this, and I'll gladly give this secret away. So you get sent, you contact some of these people over in Belgium and Holland and France or wherever to buy a Malinois, a Dutch Shepherd, or a real nice German Shepherd. And they'll send you a video of this dog on a field, and he's just searching. He's out hunting. He's got his nose on the ground. He's looking. You get that dog shipped over to you, and you go try to take that dog out and do the same thing. He'll search about 5 inches, and then he'll give up. You're like, well, what the hell? That video I saw, he was searching the whole football field area. Here's the trick to that. And this is where a lot of these guys get the shafts put up them. And they get shafted, they get the short end of the stick, whatever. I don't like using some language on here, but you know. So what they'll do, Joe, they'll get a bag of chicken. They'll stick a pin in the bag of chicken, and they'll let that juice drip out as they walk around the field with that bag. And then they go and get the dog. You don't see that part. You just see them go get the dog and they let him out where they started dripping.
That's that fuckery.
That's that fuckery.
Oh my God.
And that dog will go out and look in that field, man. That son of a bitch, I've seen them stay out there an hour looking. They trying to get to the end of that juice. What's at the end of this juice line or whatever. And you know, that's one of the tricks those guys do to sell puppies to US, to guys here in the States, because they so greedy and they so big-eyed that they won't give a person like me a look. They won't look at CT. They won't look at some of the other people that's trying to do things the right way.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
But that's how they are. You know, I can't see that, Joe.
I'll read it. Go ahead. I didn't mean to distract you, but I'll read it now. How much Mims want on Cash App right now for the scent secret? Hey, y'all want me to, if I put together a show, I'll put together a webinar. Y'all got to pay $10. It's going to be called Dog Training Secrets.
That's right. There you go.
We won't air it to the public.
Yeah. So I've seen that happen several times. Or you call over there, you want to get a dog that's trained already. So them guys are sending you their problem dogs. But what they do before they send him, they go hit him with some tranquilizer. And by the time you get the dog's coming from under that tranquilizer, and he's waking up, and you go take that son of a bitch out after about 20 minutes, that shit then wore off, and that mother look up at that leash and say, hold up, buddy. I'm about to get with you. I'm about to get with you and dig off into their ass.
hey, look, man. Hey, you giving up all the game right here, boy.
Yeah, you are.
But
I tell those
giving
people,
it up,
man,
but
if you don't know nobody over there, don't expect to get their good shit. If you ain't got no ties over there, man, you are not going to get their good shit. They ain't sending their good shit over here unless you are connected and tied in. You need to know that.
Well connected.
Well connected.
I used to post videos.
You got an imported piece of bullshit because you ain't connected enough to get the caliber dog that you think you got.
I used to post videos and I used to say, why would I import something when I got this kind of shit here? Right. And I've had my fair share of dogs like that were imported. I have puppies 6-7 weeks old. I take those little kiddie swimming pools and I'm swinging it over their head. I'm dragging it while they chasing a tug. I'll drop that pool over that dog's head. That son of a bitch under that swimming pool with the tug in his mouth. He's still going. When I pick the swimming pool up, he still got that tug in his mouth. He's still going. Why I need to import someone? I'm producing that kind of shit here, and the dog I import won't do this. That's just counterproductive to me. You
Well,
know,
I tell
and
them
guys
why
see
you
my
need to
videos.
import. Why you need to import some shit when you can get enough shit over here?
That's right. That's right. You know, so I've had these guys see these videos, see me doing that with videos. But what I've been told before is, say, Mims, what you're doing, man, you're going over a lot of people's head with what you're doing. Some of the stuff you're doing and stuff you're showing, they don't understand it, so they don't get it. That's why sometimes you get stuck with puppies because you're showing too much and the guys don't understand what you're doing. But instead of them picking up the phone and saying, hey, Mims, what's going on with that?
You
Or
raising the
can
bar.
you tell
You
me
raising the bar. Yeah, when I had you guys on the show and you bring this bar up like that, boy.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, on my page, I got a playlist called Making Protection Dogs. And I tell people, man, that the dogs that I have right now, I don't have that type of genetics. These dogs ain't supposed to be doing what I'm making them and getting them to do. You know, I'm gonna back up a little bit. Y'all have heard me talk about this dog that I had named the Shiznik. The Shiznik started this shit with me. And this is how I knew I was in the game, because when I showed this big trainer, there's a big trainer out there, and this guy's big up in the Schützen world, and I'm gonna give him a shout out. His name is Ken Odeko. He probably ain't too fond of me right now, but he's still. Hey, if he called me today, call me tomorrow. Hell, we can have a conversation. But Ken, when he seen my dog, and he was like, "Do you got papers on this dog?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Let me see him." And when he looked at the papers on my dog, man, I thought I was going to shoot this motherfucker. He said, "How you get your hands on this dog?" I said, "What?"
What?
He said, "How you get your hands on this dog?" I said, "Man, what the fuck is you talking about?" He said, "Just anybody can't get a dog with this bloodline right here." That's when I knew, like, oh shit. Hey, well, my dogs the lady that I got them from, she had moved here from Germany. And the dogs on my dog's pedigree was from some top kennels in Germany. And he felt like just like me and you said, they ain't fit to import these dogs over here to somebody that you ain't connected.
Right.
So he seen my dog's pedigree, and he knew that, man, I got to know somebody to get this fucking dog. But just so happened, I just got lucky that the lady that I got my dog from moved here from Germany, and she brought 2 of her dogs with her. You know what I'm saying?
Son was done. Let me throw this in, Joe, right quick.
Yeah,
so the one guy that claims that he had the best producing Dutch Shepherd in the history of the breed, he says, right? So here's a contrast to that. The dog name was Carlos. I had puppies off of Carlos. I had puppies off of Arco Kicker. Here's the comparison of the 2 dogs to tell you how unequal they were, okay? Carlos never produced more than I would even, up until now, that dog, I don't know if he's even still living, but at the time, he never produced more than 20 dogs that got their PH1 certificate, never passed that exam. Arco first litter, he produced 10 puppies. All 10 puppies went on to get their PH1 certificate. So how can this dog be the best dog in the history of the breed and no more than 20, if that many, has ever passed it? Arco, and I'm not saying Arco was the best dog, but compare the 2, and Mike Suttles imported both of those dogs. I had a Arco direct son. I had an Arco Carlos female that I bred, and they produced some really strong dogs. But you put those 2 dogs together, and Arco Kicker first litter, all 10 puppies got their certificates. That's what was told to me by Mike that imported the dog in. Carlos never produced more than 20 his whole lifetime. Now, how often they were bred, how many times they were bred, I'm not sure. But that's just the comparison of the 2. But if you judge what you see in front of you, then these 2 dogs don't matter. Because what I see in front of me is what I'm judging and what I can train and what I can get that dog to do. That's me. Now, there's people that want to breed because of what the paperwork says. But once again, all that shit can be threw together and made up and however it needs to be in order to sell that pup. Hell, I had a German Shepherd that's imported from Czechoslovakia. Guy in Mississippi was in a bad spot. I paid $800 for this dog. I got all this paperwork. The dog came off of some dog named the lines were Elboo. Some Elboo or some shit like that. And I let a guy look at it. He said, man, that's a really well-known dog. His grandfather was a world champ. The dog himself was a piece of shit, but the paperwork was good on him. Had his pet passport, all his import stuff and all that. I gave the dog away because he wasn't nothing. I bred him a couple of times, gave him away. But when I gave him away, I didn't give the guy the papers with him. I had guys try to buy that dog's papers, the hang papers on their dogs, 5 years after that dog left my place. They were still trying to buy those papers because that's how impressive his paperwork said he was. But he was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But I just helped the guy out. He was in a bad place, and I made my money back. You know, I didn't take a loss on it, and I helped a friend of mine out of a jam, you know. But that's the stuff, man, that I don't care to get into with all the paperwork with people and shaft people and selling bullshit. If I sell somebody a puppy and they want to bring it back, I'll gladly take them back because I know what I put out. Now, it'll be hard to kill a drive in some dogs because they just so wired up. But if they want to bring the dog back in order to do good business and keep potential clients and clients happy, I'll gladly take the dog back and replace him. Some people won't do that. You buy that dog from them and that dog, they'll tell you, oh, well, no money goes back across the table. You can give the dog back, but ain't nothing going back.
I'm one of those people. Most of the time, I don't want the dog back because most of the time you probably done fucked him up. Now, a lot of times I will ask to see if they want to bring it back. Well, can I see it first? But I don't make no goddamn contract that you got to bring this dog back to me because a lot of times I may not want that son of a bitch back after you done ruined him. I don't want to fix all your problems. You know what I'm saying?
I'll get him. And before I give a dog to somebody that I know won't serve the purpose, whatever it is, the purpose. If I feel like the dog just a piece of shit, the pound is just right up the road about 3 miles from me. And when I go drop him off and turn him over to them, I tell them to put him to sleep. He ain't good to be a pet. I don't want nobody to say that dog came from John Mims and he didn't work out because of what I done or maybe what they done. You know, I just rather not have that dog out like that, you know, and that's not culling a dog. I don't think that's just a dog that's not going to make it on what the standard and what the dog should be. Not a watered down version like some of these people in the show world or, oh, that dog don't have to be that aggressive or that's what the fucking dog was bred for, to be like that. What do you mean he ain't got to be like that?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I just don't understand. I don't know Central Asian Shepherd, they're herding dogs or livestock guardians. But when people go to want to tampering with the genetics and breed down a lesser dog and all, that's where the bullshit comes in with breeding and why some of the breeds are like they are now, because people want to change it and play with the genetics too much.
Right.
You know?
Hey, our people is the worst at it, man. When I say our people, I'm talking about black folks, man. We the worst. We the worst at it. I seen a TikTok where some guys talking about bringing chows back. Bringing chows back. And what they fist to do is mix that. Now they talking about mixing these damn chows with something.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, where the fuck they go?
Here they go. Yeah.
Everybody want to be a designer breed. They want to design a breed. They want to design a breed with no purpose.
Yeah.
No purpose other than making money.
Yep. The motherfuckers with your ways. You know what I mean?
Monkey see, monkey do, man.
Yeah. They got a game-changing service now, though. And you know, John, I was talking about with you yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Well, I kind of been harping on y'all better stop. Y'all better start looking at them dogs in front of you. You bet. You know. I've been harping on that lately.
Yeah.
But they do. The AKC Clinical Club do have a new testing thing. It's called the DNA Parentage Evaluation Service. They can tell you if those.
Yeah, but that's only if you request it, though. That's only if you bought a dog and you feel like, man, this may not be that dog.
But yeah.
But what they need to start doing, man, and I think that's why I think AKC dropped the ball. You know, like I raise horses too, for y'all that don't know. I used to raise horses, but now I just kind of train them. But the Quarter Horse Association, they was doing just like the dog. They was taking paperwork and putting it on a horse that wasn't that horse. You know what I'm saying? Just matching papers. So what the Quarter Horse started doing, they cut that shit out, man. They started you gotta send in DNA for your male horse. And now before you register that coat out of those horses, you got to send that DNA out of that coat, and you got to send it in from the mama.
Yep.
So they're going to make sure that these horses are out of the horses that they say they is. And that's something that I think AKC could start doing, and it would really tighten up and stop all this matching papers, and people will start getting the pedigree that their dog actually is, because like I say, I'm a firm believer that probably 80% of the people that got AKC registered dogs, their dogs probably ain't what the fuck they think that pedigree, that paper say they is. And that's including some. Hey, I got a dog right now, black and red dog, Athena. She's on my page. And when I looked at her pedigree, when I bought her at a year old. And when I looked at her pedigree, I seen the kind of dogs that I like, but Athena and the puppies that she threw, I knew that this ain't her papers. Because I ain't supposed to have no goddamn dogs on her papers with no white chest, with no white tips on they. Then my puppies ain't supposed to be born with no white tips on their feet.
Right.
So me knowing about German Shepherds and what German Shepherd puppies and things like that, I knew that Athena's papers ain't what she say she is.
Right.
Just by her offspring.
Right. Hey guys, hit the like button. We're getting ready to take it home. If y'all got any questions, drop them in now. And hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. And we'll take a few questions and take it on home.
I just want to say to anybody out here that's watching, like I say, man, I got CT's Touch Horses Forward /dogs. And if you want to see how, like I say, man, I'm a protection dog trainer. I'm not a sport dog trainer. I'm not a dog enthusiast. You know, I'm a sport dog trainer. Not a sport dog, protection dog trainer. And on my page, there is a playlist where you can go and it's titled Making Protection Dogs. And you can kind of see how I start these dogs. I got a playlist training puppies. You can see how I start young puppies, preparing them before I ever put them on that back tie. So there's a lot of videos, a lot of stuff that some of you may like on my page. So check it out. CT.
Okay. Okay. Hey guys, I'm gonna start putting some of these questions up. Hey, put a 1 in the chat if you would be semi-interested in maybe just one day holding a little event where we can host John and CT in the future somewhere in the middle of the country, Oklahoma, Arkansas, somewhere like that. We got to pay, but you know what I'm saying. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think y'all be interested in doing something like that. Okay, what is y'all opinions?
I guarantee you. Oh, go ahead.
No, I can't hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead, CT.
I was gonna say I guarantee that if they did, they would learn a lot, or they would probably get their trainers exposed.
Oh, yeah. What is y'all opinions about the real pit bull
opinions about the red pit bull?
Being a protection dog, and have you ever raised one to be better than a German Shepherd?
So I'm like John, man. I raised a pit bull one time. Her name was Coco. She was a bad bitch, and she come out of some game dogs, but I could take her around people's chihuahuas. I could take her around people's cats, and if I put them on them, it's fixed to be a fight. But if I told her to leave them alone, she left them alone. There's no way that I would compare her with the German Shepherd. You know, the German Shepherd, man, is just really in my opinion, he's every dog in one. Now, I'm not saying that there's dogs out there that can't do what a German Shepherd can do, but a German Shepherd really can do damn near what any other breed can do, and damn near do it to their level. But most can't do what a Shepherd can do. That Shepherd can think in high stress. If he's trained correctly, and some of them, if he's bred good and even not trained, just a lot of good natural instincts, just a dog that you don't have to really be as knowledgeable as a lot of these dog trainers. And if you get you a good dog, you still can raise you a good family pet. That's what I like about the Shepherd personally.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
But that pit bull, hey, he definitely can be a badass, dangerous protection dog.
Yeah. What your thoughts, John?
Yeah, pit bull and a German. It's kind of like you're comparing two different styles of fighters. You know, but can you train a good protection dog, a pit bull, to be a protect? Hell yeah, I've done it several times. Uh, but it's just if you get the right one and you stimulate him right and you make him conform to certain things when you're putting them together. That's the biggest thing. If you train with stability, that's the biggest part of it. Training a pit bull, training most of them. You know, you train with stability and not let the dog get too loose in the head and teach a dog to think. Then I don't see why you can't have a pit bull that does excellent protection work. There's a guy that does some protection work with his Jeremy Sebring.
Mm-hmm.
Does a lot, but he does a lot of e-collar work, and I'm not a fan of that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I got to do that much control work with an e-collar on a dog, then to me, I feel like I'm cheating. That's
And
cheating. That's
I've
not
seen a lot
training.
of Jeremy's videos, and I think he's just more, to me, he's more of a sport dog trainer, man.
Yeah, more of a sport dog trainer. Yeah, and of
Most of
course
his
he
training
says,
techniques is sport dog shit, man,
yeah, of
and
course
you
he
don't
says,
need all that.
oh, well, man, if he has one video that just kind of blew my mind. He says, oh, most of y'all have to gas y'all dog up before you send him somewhere, and the guys are in the back of the van. Well, that's the cue already. The dog knows what's coming. He sees the guys in there with the suits on. So
Hey,
you
and he
wouldn't
probably done
have to cue.
rehearsed it.
He
He
probably
probably
done
rehearsed it
rehearsed it
before he
and all
made
that
the
stuff. And,
video. Shit.
you know, and not saying his dogs won't bite you for real
Exactly.
if they have to. But I mean,
Exactly.
stuff like that, it's all for show. And if people could see through that sort of thing, man, and pay attention to what's going on and all that stuff, then they can see the real deal when it comes down to that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You got another question, Joe, on there?
Yeah, I do. CT, you come through Broken Bow already?
Man, I was just in Broken Boat 2 weeks ago for 4 days, man, down there at them cabins, man. I wish actually I remembered you commenting last time, and my plan was to hit you up. But when I go down to them cabins, man, I take flip-flops, some slides, and some gym shorts, and I don't leave the cabin.
There you go. Yeah. Appreciate the knowledge and jewels. Y'all drop for the viewers. One. I'll definitely pull up. One.
Yeah.
This is them talking about y'all ever hooking up and
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
man. I think if we one day we could just get these guys a nice hotel, give them a meal plan, some gas money and a little pocket money for their pockets when they leave. I think we might need to do something one of these days.
Oh, yeah.
I'm down for it.
CT, what I'm thinking about, and that guy says Broken Bow, is that, what was the comedian name? Roy D. Mercer. I remember him saying something about Broken Bow. Is that the town that guy's talking
Yeah, he's
about?
probably, if it's Roy D. Mercer, yeah, he's probably talking about Broken Bow.
Yeah. I remember him saying that on one of his shows. But man, we're by not all means, we're not saying we know everything.
No,
we're
I'm definitely not that guy.
Right. We're not trying to say we trying to reinvent the wheel like some people say. We just give our opinion and our expertise in what we do and can help people out as far as what they're doing. And when I get ready to train somebody, dog, I want to know their lifestyle, what they're looking to gain out of it, what they're looking at the end of the training, what's the dog's purpose, and all those things before I even get started. If here's a word to the wise. If somebody out there looking for trainers, and when they go there, if the first thing that guy does is put an e-collar on your dog or a pinch collar on that dog, I think twice about them. Because for one, that's before they even evaluate the dog.
Mm-hmm.
At least just look at the dog, see what's going on. If you need that, you may not need that to train a dog.
I think coming through me and John, man, you guys can get a lot of good information without all the fluff and the bullshit, man.
Yeah, you're
You know
not
what I'm
gonna get
saying?
it. You're just not gonna get the fluff and the bullshit. You're gonna get what's what. If I evaluate the dog CT and I look at that dog and I can, after a fair evaluation, I'll tell him, hey man, look, that motherfucker ain't worth the food you feeding him or the water he drinking.
Yeah.
And I'll just be just as fair as I can with him. But before I get to that point, I've given that dog every chance to prove me wrong that he's not a piece of shit. Right. I've given him every chance, and I've given him more chances than not. I've had dogs that other trainers didn't want to fool with, just turned away. But because I don't mind sitting there and I know how to put that son of a bitch together step by step and block by block, and just slow down in my training and not be in a hurry to get him in and out of my door, in and out of my program. And that's the commercial business side of it. These guys want to get them in and out so fast that they don't pay attention to what the customer wants or what best suits their needs and fits their family. They just want to get them in and out and turn that money over and turn that money over,
Right, that's right.
And that's not what I'm in it about, because all people aren't dog people. They may just be people that have a dog.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, the weather's cooling off. It's fall time, and I tell you what, man, this is normally when I start doing stuff with my dogs, and so I'm gonna be posting a lot of my videos, not just on my page, but I'm gonna be posting some stuff on. I guess I'm gonna have to go to John's and hope he don't kick me off shit.
No, everything good over there, bro. The only thing, and the reason I think my page, that group has grown, is because there's only been maybe one or two people that try to kind of get out of pocket with somebody, and I'll come in and I'll take the thing off. But before I take it off, I'll tell them, hey, this isn't the place for that. We're not, this isn't the kind of group for that, man. We all here to learn and teach each other, help each other out if possible. Somebody asks a question. I looked on the group yesterday or today, and there was somebody asked about somebody had any experience with cadaver dogs. I don't think that when I looked at it, nobody had answered back to it, but that's the purpose of the group. To come in, it's a real working dog, real life working dogs, man. We want to get here, have people have discussions about stuff and all that sort of thing. And I may not be moderating it right, but every now and then I go on there and say something. And one of the biggest contributors on there is that guy, Fred Hassan, the e-collar guy. He posts probably 2-3 videos a day sometimes on there. And I don't mind it so much, but I don't do. I like what he does now, because you very seldom see him work a dog without an e-collar on, but I post on there, but all of the rigmarole and the fighting and the disrespecting people and stuff like that, I don't, I'll just delete them, and I'll delete the people out of the group and won't let them back in, So I encourage people to go on there, man, and post. If you got questions, call, ask, get in touch with me, CT, Joe. If you can't get in touch with me or CT, get in touch with Joe. Joe can put you in touch with one of us, and we'll be glad to talk you through whatever you got going on and see if we can help you out or something. And if we don't know it, I'm pretty sure we can find the people to point you in the right direction. Right. I had a guy call me the other day, ask me about a service dog. Well, I don't do that sort of training. I don't know much about it. But I put him in touch with somebody that can help him, that do that sort of thing. And that comes from years of networking with people, talking with people, having conversations, and not burning bridges and all that stuff. Networking sometimes it can get you a long way in this business,
Yeah, especially when you with like-minded people, because all of us can't go to certain facets of the dog world, like Corso world shit. I ain't accepted in a lot of this shit. You know what I mean? You know that.
Well, Joe, let me ask you this, Joe. They don't pay not one bill at your house.
That's got you goddamn Skippy.
They don't pay one bill there, so fuck them up the ass.
I'm problematic too, like y'all.
They don't
giving them the information and
hey, he won't conform. That's what it is.
Yeah,
he won't conform.
They're over there with all that political agendas. That's what they say.
Yeah. So, I just kind of learned. I can talk to any. It comes up to dog stuff, man. We can talk for hours. I've talked to people for 2-3 hours, and just met them on the phone that minute, and the conversation, before you know it, it's hour, 2 hours have passed by. And I'll tell them, I said, whether you choose me to train your dog or help you out with him, that's fine with me. But maybe I help answer some of your questions and maybe pointed you in the right direction or gave you a better sense of direction of what you're dealing with and which way you need to go. You know, and that I found people say, oh, well, if they may go choose CT, but they'll say, hey, CT, man, you know, I'm closer to you, or I like what you say, but that guy John Mims mentioned you, and you know, he kind of pointed me in the right direction, and it's best that I go with you. Yeah. I have no problem with that because he mentioned my name. That will go a lot farther than me burning that guy or telling him, you know, something that don't make sense or whatever, you know. So
yeah,
that's what I've learned.
So down here in my area, it's Muskogee, man. There's the area is just not. If I tried to make a living raising protection dogs or selling protection dogs or training protection dogs down here, I'd starve to death. It's just not that popular down in this area, you know. But if there's anybody close to Muskogee, Oklahoma, that you want to do personal protection, not sport, but if you want a real personal protection dog, then I'm worth checking into. You know, I've connected. I've sent a couple of young guys that want to get into training. I told them to reach out to John. I told them, hey, just call John and see what you can work out with him. I can't tell you what he can or can't do, but all I can tell you that man know dogs. You know what I'm saying? So call and talk to this brother because he knows dogs. You know, and like you say, networking and just being able to send somebody in a direction that's cool to know. You know, Joe, I had somebody ask me about some Corsos. And I told him to look up your page, you know. So it's just about, you know, my daddy told me a long time ago, man. He said, who you know will get you further in life than what you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I've started to experience that, you know. Yeah. And man, it, you know, keep these doors open, people.
Yes, sir. That's right. Hey,
yes,
man,
sir.
I appreciate y'all once again coming to the show.
Sir.
And dropping the knowledge you guys did. So I guess we're gonna call this a wrap. Everybody know how to get in touch with CT. Everybody know how to get in touch. Doug has been dropping it, all their connections in the chat all night long. So we're gonna see y'all the next time.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yes, sir.
All right.